Hello everyone, this is Group 3 and our topic is Difference and Advice. Here is our group member Ziyi, Johan, Yolanda, and Mo Shen. Now let's begin our topic. Our group's topic is the difference between our own country and the US, and I give some advice to our own country's international students. So each of us will share our own personal experience and give some helpful advice for everyone. I come from China, and I will talk two big differences. The first one is the difference between the classroom rule. There are a lot of cultural difference between China and the US, especially in the area of education. One of the significant difference is the head teacher. Head teacher is a kind of teacher that monitor a specific class of students. According to OECD's accounting, the average class size of Chinese is 50, which means the head teacher takes responsibility for 50 students. Head teacher is not only care about students' academic life, they also manage your daily life. For example, if your academic life was influenced by falling in love, your head teacher will talk with you and all your parents. However, in the US university, students only have academic advisors. There is no one to manage your daily life, so we will feel free when we study at US university. However, a lot of students feel confused or lost in their academic or daily life because nobody regulates them. The second difference is transportation. The difference is caused by economic. As Chinese, we are familiar with highly developed public transportation system. Chinese government spends thousands millions dollars in building infrastructure. For example, Chinese government spent $13 billion on Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway project. However, in US, the public transportation is not the same as Chinese except, for example, in US, you cannot live without cars at most places. However, in China, we have buses, taxis, subways are almost everywhere. The main reason for this kind of situation is that in China, we have dense population. The population push our country to improve our public transportation. However, the population density of US cities is smaller than Chinese cities. For example, the population of Columbus is probably 850,000. However, the population of Shanghai is almost 24 million, so the low-level public transportation is suitable for US cities. I also have some advice for Chinese students. The first one is learn to take self-awareness every day. Self-awareness is the process in which individuals use reflection or make comparisons to reality and the feedback of others. Without self-awareness, thinking will be disordered. However, if you learn how to self-awareness, you can direct your own learning with your own thoughts, especially for those students who first time to study abroad alone. Having a clear personal identification is important for your success in academic life. The second advice is that you should learn and get your American drive license as soon as possible. It is convenient for your daily life, and the drive license can replace your passport in US.
It is my turn to talk about hope. The first point is about races. My country, which is Malaysia, consists of many races, which are Malays, Indians, and Chinese. About 60% of the population is populated by Malays, 25% of the population is Chinese, 10% of the population is Indians and the rest is other races aside from culture of Malaysia. I think living in diversity country make our country feel more harmonized and tolerant. It is similar to living in United States because it also consists of many races. I can meet different people from different races such as white American, African American, American Indians, Asians, and other races aside from multiracial in America. Although both my country and the state have some problem regarding racism, we actually need each other. That was makes the country really unique. We need to open up things so each of us can appreciate one another, as the appreciation is the foundation of a genuine relationship aside from Gloria Musa. It is because people itself can have the chance to experience many things outside they are normally accustomed, and within those different backgrounds makes people to unite in order to live in a better community. Next, the second point about the topic is slang between Malaysia and United States. I actually come across with many slang that sometimes remind me of my home country. I think my country in United States have a similar style in how to communicate with people. People in my country will add a term like la in the end of a sentence when talking English. For example, can you follow me la? It is because people in my country talk Bahasa Melayu and take English as the second language. Sometimes people will mix Bahasa Melayu and English when talk in English. On the other hand, people in United States also use some slang in their words. For instance, hey, what's up? And today I had a blast. Aside from Victoria and Ellen, this kind of slang change from one generation to another generation. I think the slang of my country and United States make people become more connected to each other. So some advice to Malaysian students is they must do a research about the country that they will study in future. The more we read and know about the country, it will take at least amount of time to become familiar with it. There is proverb from my home country that I translate in English: on which soul we stand on, that is where we carry the wood of the sky. It means that if we arrive to certain countries such as United States, we must follow the rules that the country provides. It is to ensure the safety of ourselves and other people who live there according to a law of nation. Even though foreigners can freely enter any countries, they are subject to obey the law of the country that they enter. Aside from emergency veto, if country have its own law, if we act in our home country, surely there will be a problem that we have to face, as different country has its own law. Finally, we also need to keep in touch with families and friends back in our home country, as they want to know what we have gone through and share their experience with them. Besides that, it also a way for us to stay in touch with their world in order to ease our feeling of being homesick. So that is for me.
Spain is a peninsula located in the southwest of Europe. We are in the Eurozone and our government is a monarchy parliamentary. Nowadays, we are experiencing a really big economic crisis and not a lot of people have the money that they used to have. The United States is a world potency based on capitalism. The currency is the dollar and is almost equal to euros. The government is based on a constitutional federal republic and the country is divided into 50 states. Each one has its own laws but is still governed under the national law. The difference between Spain and the United States is that in Spain, people don't spend their money leisurely. They won't spend money on a thing that is not important for them, such as going out for dinner or a vacation. Usually, People will spend their money on important things that will influence in their future. According to the Spanish financial crisis, the stock market in Spain was at its lowest point in the decade as the unemployment rate was above 20%. So people will likely save their money for their future as affording college or your own house. In the United States, people don't measure how much they spend. They buy whatever they want. According to the average salaries for Americans, the median household income in America across all the jobs was $51,939. Thus, it seems they will likely have extra money to spend on whatever they want and love, because their country isn't stable economic. You can see the difference between the value of money for Spanish people and American people. Affording to college is not a big deal, and they still have money for lunch outside or going to the cinema. My biggest challenge here is the measure of words that I'm saying. In my country, saying bad words is very common. We never try to hurt each other's feelings with bad words. It is always harmless and for fun. According to communication styles, Spanish people tend to be more direct and clear everyday conversation, while in the United States, they like to think of themselves as being direct, but actually many times they do take consideration about other people's feelings. For example, if you ask a question or ask for opinion to Spanish people, you will often find a very straight answer. Here, you will find that people is very friendly and people always try to speak properly as they communicate with each other. On the other hand, Spanish people will only communicate with people if we initiate the conversation. They want people to just start the conversation and later they will show their friendly side to continue the conversation. Compared to the United States, Spain typically does things later in the day. You will be shocked to find the business hours in the United States is very different from Spain. For example, it is common to have lunch in America around noon, but in Spain, people eat more around 2 p.m. This is the same time for dinner. Americans eat around 6 p.m., while Spaniards eat closer to 9 p.m. According to Andalucía Ban, business hours in Spain is around 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., as there is a Spanish siesta. The meaning of la siesta is a nap with which people in Spain will take a short nap taken in the early afternoon. It is to bring sense of calm to a person when taking a short break during the peak of the workday. The way that we greet people is also different. In the United States, people greet each other with a handshake. In Spain, they greet each other with a kiss on each cheek. According to Learn Spanish, when men greet men, they will give each other a hug if they meet. When a male greets female or vice versa, they will softly touch both arms and kiss on the both cheeks. It is normal customary because Spanish people feel like it is more natural rather than just give a handshake or say hi when they meet people. My biggest challenge here is the measure of words that I'm saying. In my country, as a conclusion, I would say that there are a lot of differences between the United States and a European country like Spain. My best advice is take best parts of both cultures and enjoy as much as you can experience.
An area and the post. I'm from China, and I'd like to talk about the two differences between China and the US. The first one is the urban area. The urban area in China is very crowded. A lot of people live in the urban instead of the rural, so this makes the transportation so heavy in urban area. And the other one is the post. The postal service in China is cheaper and faster than it is in the US. Urban area. In China, most people live in downtown area. According to the research of Statista, for the people living in city, 749 million people lived in the urban area and 690 million lived in rural area. And this is the data for China. The percentage of people living in urban is more than 50%. There are several possible reasons to explain this appearance. Firstly, several decades ago, Chinese had no cars to enable them to move a long distance to their own workplace. So Chinese would prefer to live close to where they are working. Now, the economy of China has improved a lot. But since the speed of development is so fast that we use only 30 years to make China change from a poor country to the second economic body on the world, we don't have enough time to adjust the city planning to be suitable for today's China. Also, even now, many companies ask their workers or employees to come very early. So live far away means they have to get up earlier. And also, the roads of China is always so crowded during the time when people are going to work. So, it will be better for the workers to live more close to the place they are working. However, in US, according to research, thousands of people according to the research of Trading Economic in 2014, about 1,464,000 people were living in large cities, while 5,916,000 of people were lived in rural areas. Also, the roads in US is not so crowded as those in China, because although the area of US is similar to China, but the population of US is much smaller. So even the ones live a little far away can still come to their workplace on time. They don't need to live in the urban area. Post. The post system is so fast in China. Usually, a package can be sent to any place in 1 or 2 days. Also, the service is very cheap. According to the price chart for Shunfeng Express, sometimes you can spend just 22 RMB, which is about $3, to send your package from Beijing to almost anywhere in China. However, the post service in US is much slower and more expensive. A package needs 3 or 4 days, or even 1 week to be sent to you. And on the website of USPS, we need to use at least $5 to send a package. Advice. The city in US is very different with the city in China. However, what is the same everywhere is that you need to check where the important places are, such as hospitals and banks. In some cases, the problem of the difference in city doesn't influence the life of students lived on campus, but for the ones who live off campus, they must know these places. Also, we can talk with our classmates and friends about the urban. Also, do the things that as early as possible. My father always told me that we should give us more time and chance to repair our mistakes, and a good schedule is needed for this. We should have some foresight when we try to make a plan, knowing where and why we may make mistakes, and thus we won't be anxious as we found something terrible happens. Conclusions. There are a lot of differences between China and the US. The urban and the post is just 2 of them. There is the proverb in China, do as the Romans do, we cannot change the US to what we want, so adjust ourselves is the best solution.
As a conclusion, there are many differences and similarities when compared to each of the member countries and the United States. Those differences and similarities are only obstacles for us to embark in this new journey when studying abroad. It also gives us the opportunity to see the world in different perspectives and experience many kinds of things. Finally, we have the chance to embrace the difference that we faced in the United States and try to learn many new knowledges as much as we can in order to be a successful person when we come back to our home country. And there are some reference pages and reference page continue. So thank you for watching our videos.